corner.
After scoring 35 goals in 33 matches in the Eredivisie, a league just outside the best ones in Europe, and earning a reputation as the cannibal of Ajax for his infamous biting of an opponent, which followed an extended suspension, it would be with good reason that the top Premier League clubs viewed Luis Suárez as volatile, a great attacking talent, but a liability in the long run. You see, footballers are curated to be people without blemish, top professionals both on and off the pitch. A superstar should be explicitly marketable because perception is everything. Liverpool, however, saw beneath the mask, beneath the things that made Suárez human and in need of a pure striker, made a move for him, and it turned their fortunes around. By the time the 2013-14 season kicked off, Suárez was already a cult figure at Anfield, but nobody, not Brendan Rodgers, not Steven Gerrard, not a single pundit on Match of the Day was ready for what he was about to do. He came back from a 10-match ban for the bite on Branislav Ivanovic in September of 2013 like a man with something to prove. Not just to the pundits who'd already written him off as uncoachable, but to himself, showing the world just the kind of monster he could be in front of goal if he actually locked in. And prove it he did. Goal after goal. Not tap-ins, not penalties, bangers. Volleys from angles that shouldn't exist. Free kicks that bent physics. Strikes from 30 yards that goalkeepers didn't even move for, because by the time they registered the shot, it was already in the net. The goal catalogue that Suárez created that season was truly a collector's item. So, a 4-goal haul against Norwich in December, scoring the goal of the season, followed a hat-trick against West Brom at Anfield in October. This to many might have looked normal, a striker in a purple patch, but by the turn of the new year, a memorable brace against Everton in a 4-0 thrashing at Anfield started sending alarm bells to the rest of the Premier League, with him scoring his 23rd goal of the season. That season, Suárez was going for the kill. Then followed another hat-trick against Cardiff away in March, as Liverpool put 6 past them without mercy. Every strike seemed to carry a little more venom than the last, as if every goal was an answer to a question somebody had asked about him. By May, the numbers were absurd. 31 league goals without scoring a single penalty, a feat that the modern Premier League had not seen quite yet. A golden boot inevitably followed, then a growing unshakable feeling around Anfield that Liverpool weren't just watching a good season from a good striker. They were watching a man rewrite what people were allowed to say about him one goal at a time. Liverpool weren't supposed to be challenging for the title that year. Manchester City had the money, Yaya Toure, David Silva and Sergio Aguero. Chelsea had Mourinho back, but Suárez alongside Daniel Sturridge and Steven Gerrard playing the best football of his career at 33 dragged Liverpool to the brink of their first league title since 1990. And then, the 27th of April 2014, Liverpool welcomed Chelsea at Anfield. Then this happened.
Oh, given away, here's Demba Ba! It's 1-on-1! Demba Ba for Chelsea scored! Can you believe it?
What a mistake by Steven Gerrard. The man you would never think would make a huge mistake.
Gerrard's slip is the moment everyone remembers. But Suárez was on the pitch that day too, chasing a title he'd fought all season to give this club, watching it slip away in real time. Suárez didn't get his Premier League medal, but he got a European Golden Shoe instead, the first of his career, and the growing sense around Anfield that this version of Luis Suárez was too good to stay continued. Liverpool finished second, only 2 points off the eventual champion City, and 3 months later, Suárez wasn't a Liverpool player anymore. Barcelona came calling with a fee of around £75 million, and Suárez went to the World Cup in Brazil, having already traded the Anfield for the Camp Nou. When Suárez finally took to the pitch for Barcelona, something clicked that shouldn't have worked on paper. Time and time again, superstars fail to cooperate, with egos getting in the way of performances on the pitch. Enter Messi, a 4-time Ballon d'Or winner, Mr. Barcelona himself, arguably the best player on the planet, paired up with Neymar, a fleet-footed winger with the world at his feet, a multiple South American Footballer of the Year, just about to enter the peak of his powers. Then, Luis Suárez, a man who scores all kinds of goals, and I'm not even kidding. If anyone could bend a bullet, then this guy definitely could. Defenders were not safe with Suárez on the pitch. A front three of Messi, Neymar and Suárez built one of the most devastating attacking trios European football has ever seen. In the first season together, they combined for 122 goals. It felt like they played football instinctively, like they had been playing together for the longest time. A treble in their debut season, together with Suárez on the score sheet in the Champions League final against Juventus. The pressing, the link-up play, the willingness to run channels other forwards wouldn't run, so Messi could drift wherever he wanted, and Neymar isolated with a defender, ready to make them tremble in their boots. And still, individually, he was devastating. A second European Golden Shoe followed the season after the treble with 40 league goals, one of the greatest forward seasons in La Liga history, delivered in the shadow of two of the greatest players ever. His Barcelona resume then read: 6 years, 198 goals in 283 appearances, 4 La Liga titles, a Champions League, and then in the summer of 2020, it all ended with a phone call that lasted less than a minute. Ronald Koeman had just taken over at Barcelona. Suárez was 33, and instead of a conversation, a plan, a proper farewell for a man who had given the club 6 years of his prime, Koeman called him and told him he wasn't in the plans, and that was it. No pre-season minutes to find a new club with dignity, no testimonial. Messi himself would later say publicly that Suárez deserved better, that the way Barcelona let him go was, in his words, unjust. Suárez had weeks, not months, to find a new club. At 33 years old, with a World Cup year approaching, most stories like this end quietly. A move to the MLS or Saudi, a twilight season somewhere comfortable, goals drying up, relevance fading, but Suárez chose Atlético Madrid with nothing but revenge on his mind. Diego Simeone doesn't build teams around aging egos. He builds them around players willing to run through walls, and somehow Suárez fit immediately. And what followed was one of the greatest "I'll show you" seasons in modern football. Atletico Madrid, built on Simeone's defensive steel, suddenly had a finisher who turned half chances into clear threat indexes. Suárez scored the goals that mattered, including, fittingly, 2 against Barcelona in a 2-0 win at the Camp Nou in November of 2020. His 21 goals that season came in the league, with his strikes single-handedly worth 21 points for Atletico across the entire season. That was efficiency personified. Atletico Madrid won La Liga that season, their first league title in 7 years. Suárez finished as La Liga's player of the season, with Messi still in the league, still at Barcelona, still arguably the best player on the planet, but it didn't matter. The trophy and the individual prize both went to the man Koeman had discarded with a phone call 12 months earlier. That right there is the story of Luis Suárez, not just a striker who brought the Premier League to its knees at Anfield, dragging Liverpool back to relevance, or a forward who thrived only next to the greatest of all time, but a man who every single time somebody decided he wasn't worth the risk, he made them watch him prove otherwise. Despite the situation, El Pistolero kept firing anyway. He was the primetime Barclays Premier League footballer that went on to conquer Spain and Europe.